What up, y'all? Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I am your host, AD Walker, the pusher, the grower, the motivator. I appreciate you guys for rocking and being with us. Thank you for being here. Woo-hoo. Just another day here in the Brothers of Legacy land. So make sure you share. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. And be a part of all that's happening in the world of the Brothers of Legacy. Let's see. Boom. So today, we're talking about something that's been on my mind for a little bit, but we're gonna dig into it. Um, the uncomfortable part of purpose. The uncomfortable part of purpose. Because you hear about purpose all the time and stepping into your purpose, work your passion. But we're gonna talk about the uncomfortable part of it. Just making a move. Um, we talked about regret. We've talked about I went blank. What we talked about on Monday. So today we're just talking about just how purpose can be an uncomfortable space, because it's doing something that you more than likely haven't really stepped fully into. Because it's one thing when you do things part time with some timing, but then it's another thing when you forge ahead and you make this thing your thing. All right. Let's see. Make sure you are sharing. Also, make sure you join our text community. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576 and never miss a broadcast. So I appreciate you guys being here, rocking with us. And we're gonna have a pretty real conversation. A real conversation. Pastor should be in the building today, maybe, or not. It'll just be me. So we appreciate you being rocking with us. Sister Legacy had an amazing conversation last night. If you missed it, check out the replay. They had a great conversation about regret, and yeah, they went in. It was real deep. So make sure you check that out. And what else? If you have any topic ideas, email me, brothersoflegacy@gmail.com. Email me. And if you have emailed me, let me know so I can look and see and check it out. Because sometimes, things get lost in the junk. And then I get a lot of emails, rando, not like popular like that. Just, you've signed up for too many email lists. And it just, they all hit you at the same time and everything gets pushed down and you miss the notification. So if you have any topic ideas, be sure to email me as well. All right, let's see. Blessings, Lisa. Thank you for being here. Thank you for rocking with us as well. All my Facebookers, my YouTubers, and my LinkedIn family. Make sure you are sharing. Join our text community. Text LWN to 84576. Never miss a broadcast on the Legacy Walker Network. So, like I said, today we're talking about the uncomfortable part of purpose, and we're going to dig into that. So if you have ready to get into this conversation, if you have the similar experiences or you have questions, I am not an expert, but I've been at this thing for a minute. I've been at it. I've coached some people through their uncomfortable spaces, so I have a little experience. But yeah, so we're gonna dig into that and have a great conversation. And I appreciate you guys for being here, rocking with us. We're here every day, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. And we're discussing all things that are related to men, society, and us standing up, not just standing out, but standing up. So I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you for always sharing. Thank you for always commenting, helping in our conversation. That's the main thing. Because we're not just about having senseless conversation. We're having conversations that hopefully move our society forward. These conversations are meant to help you, meant to help you grow and maybe learn something that you didn't know. Could be a rapper right there. Look at that, dropping bars in the middle of my speech. All right, let's go ahead and kick this off. We'll be right back after this. We're gonna go ahead and get started. I want to welcome you to the Brothers of Legacy broadcast, where we are changing our community one conversation at a time, every day.
We are creating a new legacy. Change gon' come. 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 A co-op has to start with ownership. Right. We have a mindset of either I want to make a lot of money or survive. Make a bunch of money or I got to figure out how to survive.
When you have a real bond, when everyone has, we come in with real expectations. Because this is covenant.
The whole point is that we as a people, with our money and time, aren't often making this journey possible, often vested in the legacy.
You're watching the Brothers of Legacy. We don't stand out. We stand up.
Bam! We don't stand out. We stand up. All right. Let's get into it. All right. So today, like I said, we're talking about the uncomfortable part of purpose and what do I mean by the uncomfortable part? Sorry, slide some things around so I can be the most comfortable. So what I mean by the uncomfortable part is, a lot of times, what you do part-time or half the time, are the things that you feel like are called based on what you should be doing, right? Those are the things that you're like, man, I feel like I'm so impactful in this area. This is something I want to do more of. I want to focus on. I want to become greater at it. And some of the uncomfortable part is just not really like a leaving your job situation. That's a huge part. But stepping into it where you're saying yes in unknown spaces. Someone the scariest part of being great at something is when you become successful. And what I mean, when more calls come in or someone wants you to do a bigger project that you've not done, that you've wanted, but it's like, someone actually said yes, or someone actually wants me to do this particular thing. Now it's oh man, I don't want to mess this up. Like every opportunity to really walk in your purpose or walk in what you're great at can be nerve-wracking because it's like, I don't want to mess this up. And it sometimes that's the uncomfortable part of walking in your purpose. All right, let me get Pastor in the building. Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah,
Happy
right.
Wednesday.
You are correct, Pastor. You are correct. You are correct. I mean, and I don't know, that was on my mind this morning, obviously. And a lot of times, like even like when I started just messing around with coaching, I've talked to people. You have what's called like the discovery call. You start talking, and then you get to the point where you're like, looks like you're a good fit. The line, you're a good fit. We should do this thing. If you're interested, yeah, I'm interested. You tell them the price, and then they're like, well, you almost get used to someone, saying no. And I've never I've never been like high pressure. Like I know people got those techniques to turn a no into a yeah. I'm like, especially when it comes to coaching, I was like, I don't like forcing it. That's what I feel like, and someone was like, it's not really forcing. It's just, you're trying to, they can do it. You just got to kind of convince them, like I just couldn't get to that level. So they were just like, they step back. I'm like, well, whenever you're ready, like I'll let them off the phone. I'll let them go. Oh, but when someone's like, yeah, I want to do it. Oh, you want to do it? Oh, yeah. Send me that PayPal link. Oh, okay. And I know, like, though it's not supposed to be shocking, because it's like you get on the phone to kind of make the sale, like to get the client. I was like, yeah, but it's still, you get used to just doing the work of no, just like, all right, let's just, get practice. I get out there. But when the yeses start happening, when the opportunities start coming, it's like, it's uncomfortable. And I know that's like, and I'll say for me, maybe I don't think I'm alone in this. Maybe it's just, you want to do it, but it's different when you have to. Like, I can imagine, like, even football players that like go through high school and they get into college, and whoever's around them, the managers are like, yeah, you can get this NFL contract, the next level, and they probably laying in bed dreaming like, man, seeing people $30 million in the bank account, like even just $1 million, like that's not even 30. Like, I don't know. Think about this. You open, go to your Bank of America, you put your code in and you look, $1 million just there, like just sitting there, like, this is my money. Like, it just, and then to actually, like, I don't know the full process, but I know, like, it seemed like, from the movies, you get the phone call. Yeah, we want you here at Dallas. You want me? Like, yeah, we need you to come in, sign some contracts. Me, for real? Like, like you've been fighting for it or working for it, hoping for the yes, but when you get it, it's like, oh. And then I could imagine, like, actually stepping onto a professional field, right? And looking and seeing players that you watched on TV or that you've idolized, like, oh, I'm about to play side by side with these dudes. Like, it just gotta blow your mind and be like, oh. And for me, it's gotta be like, am I really worth this? Am I really ready for this? And I talk about just the uncomfortable part, because I think sometimes people feel like, hey, good morning, Cheryl. Pastor, when you step into your purpose, that, oh, it's just comfortable. I'm here. Everything's fine. Like, and that's just not it.
Never.
Right.
Never.
Right. Like, I mean, and granted, people are cool. They got the jerseys up. Yeah. But in their mind, like, oh, snap, I'm a professional now. Like, my level of play's got to be like here now. Like, hopefully I don't, looking at your mama like, I'm not going to let you down, mama. Like, I gotta, I'm getting you out of the hood, especially those that have been like living in the hood. And now it's like, I'm going to a whole nother level. What up, Fred? Good morning, sir. Going to a whole nother level, and the fear of really stepping into it, and now having to perform what I've always dreamed about doing, for even stepping on stage or writing a book, or, so Oprah calling like, hey, you want to interview? Who, me? Like just those steps. Have you experienced that, Pastor? Just like, you doing the work, and then someone said, hey, I want to give you, or like you go to an interview and you get a yes, like you came in expecting, but it's like, oh, okay. Like, it's like your mind, you prepare for a no, but when you get the yeses, you're like, okay. See you on Monday, Like, well, how did you feel? Hey, what's up, Deborah? Good morning.
I think there's always some level of preparation, preparedness.
Right. Always.
When you're an athlete and you grow up at the top of the food chain, and everyone's telling you have the goods.
Right.
Just keep playing, keep doing.
Right.
When the scouts are saying it, when promoters are trying to come get you, managers are trying to come get you, agents trying to come get you.
Right.
Endorsements are just waiting in the balance.
Right.
Right. Colleges are hunting you down. All of that kind of stuff is happening.
Right.
There's an expectation of just let me stay healthy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because all signs point to it's going to happen.
Right.
It's not a matter of whether or not it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen.
Right.
When people are sitting in the draft room, the shock is they picked 7 people and you haven't been chosen yet. That's the shock.
Right.
Because people keep, they're telling you, oh, you're going to go number 1, you're going to go number 2, you're going to get the top 5,
Right.
And all of a sudden,
Right.
8 people have been selected and you're still waiting. And the it's like, is this going to happen?
Yeah.
But for the most part, someone's going to take you.
Right.
Well, that's the expectation. So when it happens, there's a level of exhilaration.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
But it's not without preparation.
Yeah.
Because you've done the work.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So
definitely. For me, there's an excitement when that now that this has happened,
right.
my entire family's life is changing.
Yes.
There's that.
Right.
But I don't think it's the shock of, wow, this actually happened. There's a little bit of that.
Right.
But you've put in the work.
Right. But you've I don't know. I guess for me sometimes just living a life where everything didn't go my way. Like everything, there are some that just have had more of a life of yeses than no's.
I don't know who doesn't have that, because the person that's sitting in the green room waiting to be called as a draft pick has had some setbacks.
Right.
You've had some injuries. You've had some incidents happen in the neighborhood where somewhere you weren't supposed to be.
Right.
You're wondering how it's going to play out. Something happened at school.
Right.
Something happened at the house. There's all kinds of things that we never hear about.
Right. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Everything wasn't gravy for LeBron James. He had to work hard.
Right.
His mother had to work hard. The people around him had to work hard to stay out of the fray.
Yeah.
And for everyone that made it, there were 5 that didn't.
Right.
So you're saying in your mind, it's like, oh, wow, that could have been me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's always going to be questions. There's always going to be some uneasiness. I think it just comes with the territory. When the first time somebody told me that they were willing to pay me 6 figures.
Right.
Like,
right.
I'm like, there was no negotiation. You just said yes. Right. First thing I thought, the first thing in my mind was, I should have asked for more.
Dang, I went too low.
Yeah, you agreed that quickly. Then I sold myself.
Wait a minute. Matter of fact, can you go back? Matter of fact, wait.
Right.
What I meant was, 200.
I'm like, I need 150,000. Done. Like that, seriously, because
I get it.
I think for the most part we sell ourselves short.
Right.
We
do.
That's why I was a shocker. We have this expectation.
Oh, I know.
As much as I can do it, as much as I'm able to do it.
Yeah.
Is it really going to happen?
Right.
I got called to do a presentation in 2008, healthcare presentation here in Atlanta, and because I had done a lot in healthcare and IT,
right?
And Bill Clinton was on the same panel.
Wow!
I'm like,
right.
Wait, what? Wait?
Right.
That's
right.
Former President Bill Clinton.
Right.
You want? I'm going to be on the same stage,
right,
talking about healthcare, and Bill Clinton is going to have a conversation on that same stage the same day within the same hour.
Right.
And I'm going to have a microphone.
Right.
Are you sure you got the right guy? My company is like, we want you to go represent the organization and speak on this panel. And I'm saying to myself, you must have made a mistake.
Right.
But then you got to think about it. Okay, well, I've been working in healthcare for years. I do healthcare IT. They want to know what the experts are saying. They consider me an expert.
Right.
Could somebody please tell my wife somebody considers me an expert?
So we'll let her know. So I ain't gotta tell her. Let her know. Let her know.
Yeah, because I remember trying to fix that cabinet.
She was giving me grief about that, right? Right. Yeah, definitely.
So but at the same time, to your point, to your title, as much as they consider you to be an expert,
right,
you're trying to process in your mind, I've got to hold an audience that is listening to Bill Clinton.
Right.
The butterflies are bats.
Right.
Definitely. Yeah, she got to keep you humble.
She got to keep you humble. Right.
Right,
Cheryl. Right.
It's not butterflies in your stomach, it's bats.
Right.
And it's like 9 of them.
Right.
And then you get somebody next to Bill Clinton to tap you and say, "Hey, nice presentation. Well done. Great job."
Right.
Now, it wasn't Bill Clinton, but
listen, it don't even matter. Just
look, he touched Bill Clinton's suit.
He was next to it, right?
Yeah. That's the kind of stuff I think silly like that, right?
No, definitely.
Like somebody touched me who touched Bill Clinton's suit.
Yeah, definitely. It's. I think it's like you said, it is preparation. Like you're prepared for its space, and you've been doing it for however how long, and opportunities open up, and it's still like in your mind you're just like, wow, and like you always say, I'm just a boy from Kankakee, who am I, like and it's an awesome thing to begin for others to begin to see that purpose that you've been working on in the background in the dark, because it's never overnight. You just ain't seen it. You're just seeing it now, and it's like I said, it's and I'm used this title, Uncomfortable Part of Purpose, because I don't want anyone to feel like because they feel like they're not worthy, or man, I'm surprised they picked me, that it's not part of your purpose. It's just you just stepped up to another level that you haven't been, and it's like, oh wow, you're seeing things from a different perspective, and it's just time to just do what you've been doing for in the dark forever, and now everyone gets to see the best of who you are because you've matured in that space. And so just because you're uncomfortable doesn't mean it's not your purpose. That's what I want.
There will always be breadcrumbs of experience,
right,
to confirm your purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first time someone told me, I believe that you've been called or been set apart to minister the gospel.
Right.
The first time it was said to me, I said, isn't everybody that accepts Christ called for that?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we're all called to be disciples.
Right.
And I knew what they were saying, but I was like, no, not me.
Right.
I used to get high.
Right. Right.
Right.
Right.
No, not me.
Right.
I was in a gang.
Right. Right.
Right. No, not me. I got tattoos.
Right. Right. Right.
No, not me. I didn't go to the seminary.
Right. Exactly.
My father wasn't a preacher. I don't even know my father.
Right. Right.
You know what? We disqualify ourselves.
Yeah.
But then when you move forward, I look back and I remember being on the speech team in Catholic school, in private school.
Right.
Learning how to get up in front of people and speak.
Right.
I remember when we weren't going to church in Chicago, we would have service in the house on Sunday morning. and I would preach to my brothers and my cousins.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Like 8th grade.
Wow.
I remember the Christmas play at the school, and we pulled names out of a hat, and I pulled Jesus.
Right.
Play the role of Jesus. And I traded it with Patrick Grady, and I got Peter.
Right.
Like, and then, I'm like all of these little breadcrumbs of experience.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, it was there the whole time.
Right. So
maybe I should be here.
Hey,
and I think that if you look back on your life and anybody that's driven with purpose, that understands their sense of purpose, you're going to be able to look back on your life and recognize the experience or the breadcrumb experiences that led you to finding your purpose. You always will,
Right.
So the discomfort is the stretching, the development, the evolution, the
like
making.
Uncomfortability is part of stretching and growing.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even see that. Okay. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Stepping into that space, that's been uncommon, but like you said, you've been kind of doing for probably decades, just in moments, your encouragement, your words, some of it is just like you said, just your family. You just been speaking or doing for your family for so long, and he said, like minds think alike.
There you go. Absolutely. I wish my mind was like yours when it comes to playing golf.
Right. But yeah, it's definitely it can get, like I said, uncomfortable, but you've been doing it. It's just I guess it's like just realizing, this is what you've been called to do, and kind of using that uncomfortableness to push yourself forward. Sometimes in the hardest spaces it's when you have the biggest growth, like just being yourself. Be yourself in the moment where, like, it's like that is what it is. I'm where I'm at, I'm using this uncomfortableness to propel me forward. And then sometimes you just got to dive in. Just got to say yes and just dive in. Because in my life, like I've always played it safe. Like, it's like, hey, over there's $1 million. Over there's 50. 50 is real close with no traps. Let's go this way. Can I keep it real? Like I'm just go, hey, I know I can get there. I don't know if I can get over there. Like, I have no idea. I'm going right here. So, a lot of my life, I played it safe, and it's not really helped, and one of my biggest experiences, and I guess, and it's funny that, because when you was talking past, I was like, what were my breadcrumbs? What were, I think some of my biggest ones were like one when I went to college and I started doing like handing out flyers for the student union board. And I didn't really, no one selected, or I didn't even really jump in. I saw someone handing them out. I was like, I felt like I wasn't meeting anybody and connecting with anybody. He said, sometimes the hardest spaces are where you have, the biggest growth. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Someone's listening.
Right. So like I went and I started handing out just so I knew, and one thing I did know, because of my reliance on trying to be comfortable, that I knew growth and wealth and success and all that was having to connect with people. You had to connect with people. So I started handing out flyers to kind of get out of that comfortable space I've always been in, just to myself, and I think that was part of my breadcrumb. And then being in high school and getting into music and, having like a little hip hop group and stuff like that, pulling us together. I had a little DJ company for a minute, just learning to talk to people, trying to sell them and stuff like that were my breadcrumbs. And,
because you had something to say.
Right.
And the MC.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it definitely shaped a lot of who I became. It definitely helped me become, get into the space. But it's still when you get there and you decide that this is what I'm gonna do, like I said, you're gonna be uncomfortable. You're gonna because you're trying to really figure out like, okay, this is it. Like because keeping it real, you get uncomfortable, like, am I supposed to be doing this? Like, oh, and what I had to realize recently is even if you fumble, it doesn't mean that you're not supposed to be doing it. Like you might have a bad moment, you might have a bad design, you might have a bad logo if you're a creator. There's gonna be moments that things are gonna be off, that you thought you had it right. You're reading it. I thought I was reading it wrong. And you wasn't reading it right. Like, yeah, it looks like you guys like blue. No, we like red. We like red. Like, oh.
I love even in the, okay, I'm going to go down the sports path real quick.
Okay. All right. It's fine. It's fine.
Just recently, the Cincinnati Bengals are headed to the AFC Championship to play against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
And in the divisional round, the quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals, Cincinnati won the game, but he was sacked 9 times.
Wow.
In the game. And the question was, when has a quarterback in a game been sacked 9 times and still won the game?
Wow.
I haven't seen that yet.
Wow.
What am I saying? I'm saying that you're talking about fumble. You're talking about making mistakes and all of that.
Right.
Right. They asked him, you were sacked 9 times. What made you? There was still time left on the clock.
Right. That's good.
Right. That's good. I mean, it doesn't matter how many times you've been sacked.
Right.
If there's still time left on the clock, keep chasing.
Right.
And here's what I think. You said something earlier about, pushing for your purpose. Man, I struggle with that. Sometimes I feel like purpose pulls you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely.
It does happen where people understand or believe that they have a purpose.
Yeah.
And then they press and they push toward the purpose. I believe I'm going to, prosper in this manner. I believe I'm going to do this. I'm going to do, and they know that from a very early age.
Right.
That's not as common as you think.
Right. That's true.
What's more common is that purpose pulls an individual.
Right.
Your experience pulls you in a certain direction and you begin to understand, oh, wow.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
This makes more sense now.
Right. Yeah.
And then you chase.
Right. Yeah.
It
does.
And that's why in a lot of cases, it's uncomfortable. Cheryl said God uses who he uses. We missed Cheryl's comment.
Yeah.
That's how he shows himself through the uncommon. Right. And I believe that it's more common that purpose pulls as opposed to
pushing. Right.
Someone pushing.
Right.
And that's why there's discomfort.
Yeah.
Because your purpose is typically in an area where you need growth, but you will excel if you exercise it. Right.
Yeah. That's because if you think about pretty much everybody in the Bible, they was pulled from Moses to David. They were pulled in to Joseph, to Daniel. Yeah, they were pulled in.
Well, at Joseph, a little different because Joseph told him about his dream.
Right. You know what? You're right. Yeah, he already knew. He already knew what was gonna happen. Well, he had. Well,
Joseph had a dream. All he did was share the dream.
Yeah, and then
right.
But then he was pulled into. Once he shared it, then he was kind of.
He went through all kind of uncomfortable stuff.
Yes.
But he was pulled into uncomfortable stuff.
Yes.
Every single time.
Right.
Right. That's deep. So, it's amazing. You and I had this conversation offline yesterday, right? And I shared with you, and I'm gonna share with everybody else. You know, I have to teach and I have to minister every single week.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been doing this for years. And every single time I have to go before the church, I'm as nervous as I was the very first time.
Mm-hmm.
Never, every single time.
Can't even see it. Can't even see it.
You can if you're paying attention. Right? Every single, but see, the thing is, it's a validation that it has to be God.
Right. Definitely.
Because if it was left up to me, I'd be at the door.
Right.
Because my work in ministry, I felt like I was at my best when I was an usher.
Right.
That was my favorite, absolutely favorite part of ministry.
Wow.
Was ushering. In all the years of doing ministry, it was my favorite part.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but now it's like because I feel like I'm so unqualified.
Right.
To minister the gospel.
Wow.
But I realize God is like, that's why I can use you.
Right.
Because you know what? It's got nothing to do with you.
Right. Right. Wow.
Every single time, every week.
Wow.
Every single time. It never fails. How am I here?
Right.
You know.
Listen,
God help me if somebody says that was a good word, Pastor. Thank you, Jesus.
Ronald says nervous means you still enjoy the passion of it. I'm nervous before the first swing of every golf outing. Wow.
That right there.
Wow.
That right there.
Wow.
That right there.
I
wish I had your first swing.
Right.
Right? I've seen your first swing.
Wow. Wow. So listen, I pray this conversation is helping at least deal with whatever space you're in. If you feel like you're being pulled into a space of purpose that is just like, that's not me, but you've been kind of doing it for a long time and you just ain't really stepped into it. Sometimes you just gotta accept the call. Accept the call. It is what it is. And you gotta, and the thing is, right, the worst feeling and is not operating where you need to be operating, and getting up daily and not doing what you should be doing. Sometimes some people are still kind of figuring it out, but that there's more for your life than what you're doing right now. That. So if you're in that space, I would just seek God and just stay focused, and like I said, it's I don't even want to say always, but it seems like, for me, it just seems like it's always in that space that you run from the most. So like, I don't even know if I could get deeper on that or how to really explain. It just always seems to be the places that you run from the most is where you should be operating. That's probably like the best way I could put it. That thing that you've done that you was like, that people was like, you was great, and you was scared to death doing. Yeah, that was probably it. That was it. Because you let go. You just like, I'm gonna just let go. And
I'll be like, oh, but that was great. I'm like, yeah.
It's great performance. It was awesome.
Right. Yeah. And as soon as they get out of the room, you're like, oh.
Right. Listen, slow walk is still moving. I know that's right. That's good. That's good. But yeah, definitely. Oh man, and it's crazy when I started this. That's how I was. Like I'm all like, yeah. Then I kind of,
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah. That I just wanted to kind of cover that, the uncomfortable part of it, because sometimes, like I said, you feel like we talked about moving. You talked about making a big leap of faith, and everything seems to go wrong. And you're thinking, well, did I make the right move because everything's going wrong? And like we talk about, sometimes going back is not failure. It's just realizing that wasn't the move. But at the same time, just because things go wrong doesn't mean you're supposed to be here. I'm grateful Pastor stayed here. because you know we don't know what would have been, you know.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of cover that today. It's kind of let you think about it, chew on that a little bit. Make sure you share it out, tag somebody, because I'm sure there's somebody that you just spoke to about this, or you encourage them, because you know we're great at telling somebody else something we need to be hearing. So I know there's someone you spoke to about this, so tag them in this, let them watch it. Maybe it'll encourage them. All right. I think that's all. I didn't want to go too long, you know, sharing this. Being pastor, you know, we kind of chatted about this, and he knows why. He kind of knows my inspiration for bringing this topic up that we're not going to discuss right now. But,
why not? So yesterday,
go ahead, man.
AD asked me about Bible study.
Right.
And I think it was like 2 days ago, I said, there are times when I teach Bible study, I put my Bible study outline together
right.
as late as 4:00 to teach at 7.
Yeah.
Sometimes I know exactly where I'm going.
Right.
Sometimes I have no idea what the Lord is going to do.
Right.
But he always has a word.
Right.
So yesterday, AD asked me about Bible study last night.
Right.
And I said, yes. And what did you say? How did I turn it around on you?
Oh, right. Yeah. It's something to that. Yeah.
Something, you said something, and I said something to the effect of, unless you want to teach tonight.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And then you had that big question mark expression on your face. And I said,
right.
If you're not ready, if you don't want to do it, don't accept it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you said, I'll do it. And I said, I'm proud of you.
Yes.
Because I have to pull this out of you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I wasn't even on at 7:00.
Right.
I couldn't even get on at 7:00.
Right.
I got on to look at Bible study at like 8:30, I think.
Okay.
But it was a great Bible study. And I even texted you last night. You didn't respond.
No, I was already asleep. I was tired. I was done.
But you did a fantastic job. I don't know how you felt doing it.
Yeah.
But it was a great stand. And so exactly what you're talking about, that uncomfortability that you have, that discomfort that you have with it, it causes you to focus on being at your best.
Yeah. Definitely.
You know,
definitely.
So never fear the discomfort of purpose.
Right.
Woo.
Never fear the discomfort of purpose. That's good. I'm writing that down.
Yeah.
You can never fear the discomfort of purpose. All right. Now you got it. That's the word right there. Never fear the discomfort of purpose. All right. So we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Make sure you like I said, tag somebody, share. Yes, it starts with a yes. Indeed.
Absolutely, because he said yes.
Right. All right. So we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, same time, same channel. Make sure you are joined our text community. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576. Also, if there's any topics that you would like us to cover that I haven't, and we've covered quite a bit. I'm sure there's something that we're missing out, or we're not covering, or we're walking around. Because I know you ever watch something, you're like, y'all just gonna ignore the main part of that, aren't y'all? You're just, so let us know, because we may be, we're guys. We see it from a certain perspective, and especially my ladies, y'all see it from different. Like maybe we're just not going all the way in like you want us to. Like you come on here like, oh yeah, they about to. Y'all ain't even talking about it. Like you're just walking around it. It's just, so whatever it is
on this platform, it's okay to be a side seat driver or backseat driver.
Right. Just come in like, oh, so we just not gonna talk about such and such. We just not gonna, and we'll have this conversation. Oh, so yeah, make sure you let me know. Go to brothersoflegacy@gmail.com, brothersoflegacy@gmail.com, and let us know. All right. So as always, we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, same time, same channel. Know that we love you. God loves you more. Continue to stay safe, wear the mask, do all that, and then some. And we will see you in the AM. All right. Peace out. As always, we love you. Know that God loves you more. Stay safe. Thank you guys for rocking, hanging, being with us. Sharing is caring. All of my replay peoples that watch in the background.